Hey, I'm Kay, just a girl making ridiculously crazy builds in The Sims. Come check them out. Welcome to this week's video, which is on Cleopatra's build. She lives across the pond from the Whites, which it's not a pond, it's a river. Anyway, she lives across the river from the Whites, this palace here, which we looked at last week and the week before. So if you just cross the bridge over the River Nile, you'll be at Patra's house. So originally I did call her Cleopatra and then accidentally called her Clea in the last video, and it stuck. So Clea is her official name in the gallery. You can go back and change it to Cleo if you want, but honestly, Cleopatra's palace home is ruins, and I wasn't going to build that. That's no fun. So I've built Cleopatra's home, which is, I think, even cooler. Maybe the original place is probably cooler. We're just going to quickly skip over the bridge here, which goes over the Nile River that we've renamed, and check out this pyramid house. So, for some reason, I was like, let's waste all of the hours I have this week and build a pyramid, which took forever because it looks small and dainty on this little lot, but really it's 4 stories high and 4 stories below ground, which we are going to take a look at extensively. Now this sim just kind of came up out of nowhere. I was going through them and found this one and saved her way before I built the White's castle because I was like, she's so pretty and I wanted to build her a home. And somehow I ended up calling her Cleopatra and then of course change her name. But I was like, I need to build her pyramid. And then this happened. That's how all builds happen, isn't it? You're just like, let's build this. And then like 56 hours later, you're still here building it. Anyway, let's take a look. First level is just a light source for the bedroom up top. And then we come down to the living space with like everything you need for a fake queen. And then the main level with the entry, some washrooms, and some hidden stuff. We're going to get into this in more detail. I know it's going quite fast right now, but I'm just doing a quick overview, and then we'll get into it. Hidden spots all over here. Not all over. There's just one hidden thing there. A deep hole right in the middle. Yep, that hole goes down 4 stories. Because why not? Also, I thought it would be kind of cool if it was like a moon door, if you get that reference, and your sim could just push people down there, all down these 4 stories. I know that was quick. We're going to get into that in detail in a minute. First, we're going to check inside everything that's above the ground. Also, the mailbox is not supposed to be inside. That was some weird glitch thing. I don't know. I didn't put it there. The next time I opened the game, it was back in the original spot, so that was just a weird ghostly encounter. Moving on, every room here on the main floor is surrounding that, we're going to call it Moondor room, because that's just going to stick now. Anyway, the library here has the secret door that goes to the secret passageways and all that fun jazz. And then back out around to the courtyard area with the pools, which Clea really enjoys. We're going to have Clea take you on a tour of the underground expansive secret chamber system. The underground chamber is basically just a whole big tomb system. There's a grotto down there and a lot of chambers that would be seen in a pyramid, such as like one with all of her worldly possessions, her gold and treasures, and things like that. And also the Tunnel of Doom, which one day maybe you can push someone down. So your sim and my sim here will probably despise this whole chamber system. Like, they're not going to like it because of the wallpaper and the flooring. This specific sim was like, I do not like this space. It makes me feel, I don't know if it was uncomfortable or something like that, but she voiced her opinion that this part of her house is awful and she doesn't like it. So that's fun. It 100% accurately depicts what I was going for. So that's great. Also, this fun glitch there, she just totally skipped the last 2 steps. Before we follow her into that lower chamber room, we're just going to take a look at this first level. So up here you have the grotto back there, which you can access through this back hallway from either the door over here or over here by the first stairwell. So you can actually use that way to get down and around quicker to the next stair level. I just have the doors locked, so you'll just have to unlock them to be able to use that, or maybe they come unlocked when you download it. I don't actually know. Anyway, there are the 4 levels. The, what is that, 3rd level down or 2nd basement level? What do you want to call that? 2nd from the bottom, 3rd from the top. I did fix that lighting, so don't worry about that. There are lights there. Right now it's just a dark, creepy tomb chamber. Now we're going to ask Clea to come back around and use those stairs just to show you that the bottom 2 staircases, she can use them. I don't know why she decided to skip them when going down, but I guess that was how she was feeling in the moment. Anyway, it all does work, just showing that. Now we're going to get back to the tour, and we're going to take a look at what is on this bottom level here and what is behind that gated door. So as we come down here, we can see some jars. So this chamber is actually going to be Cleopatra's chamber in death, and she has already picked out the jars for all of her organs because she is part Egyptian. And that is why she lives in a pyramid house. And I am making up one crazy story just so that you can have fun with this game. On a side note, if you have the vampire pack, which I don't, you might like this to download because this is a pretty cool basement for a vampire, I would think. Dark and dingy, creepy, tombs everywhere. So because I don't have that pack, you're not going to see any coffins anywhere. I've done everything based off of what I had available. Again, I've said it before, I don't have all the packs, so I just use what I have, and yeah. We just saw the 2nd secret entrance to the basement levels. Now the door that comes into there, it wasn't working, so I did update that room. You'll see later on, so everything does work. So if you're going through this video and you're like, I know that setup that she's done doesn't work, I did fix it. I want it to be playable, so when you download everything you see on here, you can do. For the most part, there are things like these benches. I sized them up to put the jars on. These are all the tombs that we're going through here. The secret tombs in the basement. So I sized that up. So you can't actually view the jars that are on there. Like normally you can click on them and view them. It won't let you. The Sim's like, I can't because I sized up the bench that they're on. So things like that, who cares? But other than that, you can walk through the room and check it out. Now we're going to have Clea take us to the next level up from the lowest basement level here. Going to swing around. She's going to take us into the darkened room up here, which I did fix again. Anyway, this section is like the treasure area. So all her worldly possessions, which she will need in the afterlife, she has placed in this locked room guarded by gold skeletons. So down this back hall here, which she didn't want to go down, is where all her gold bars are kept, which she will need those for whatever she's doing in the afterlife. I also put a booby trap in here. That's what I'm calling this feature. She stepped on it and she got really mad. So it worked. Anyway, whoever comes in to steal her stuff is going to be like, oh, what's this? And step on it. And it's going to cause, where is it? Boop. There. It's going to cause anger, -2. Look at that. She's having vacation blues because she's supposed to be on vacation using this item. So she thinks she's having a bad vacation in her own home, which I think is awesome. Moving along, we are coming out. Now around this whole area, on this floor, so around that whole middle chamber space are, what are we calling these? Extra chambers? Anyway, this one up here is where she keeps the worldly possessions that it's all right if someone takes that giant block of clay. She doesn't need to lock that up. There's also a mirror there, which helps boost the emotion she needs to use that booby trap. It's not called a booby trap, but we're going to call it that. Now continuing on with the tour and moving up to the 2nd floor in the chamber system. This area, there the columns came back. This area is where the chapel is, because of course every tomb would need a chapel in it, right? So I've placed that in here, and for some reason it's taking 8 years for her to get to it. We know why, because of the whole stair system that I built. Anyway, it's going to take you forever to get around. Your Sim's going to be mad. It's fun. Now, you're probably wondering, why is the roof so low? What is going on here? Well, I'm going to show you that in a second, because I made a little oopsie when I was building it and it didn't click in my mind, and I already put all of this effort into it, and I was like, you know what? It's staying. I'm keeping it. I don't care. So now we're going to take a look at what the room's supposed to look like. So I just had to page down here, level down, so we can see the walls of how it was supposed to look. It's nice. It's beautiful. Anyways, it works. She's there at the podium telling the invisible people all about the lives of her past loved ones that are in the tomb. And now we're going to see why it's raining on her. It's because up here is where the grotto is. So I put the grotto up here, and of course I used BB Move Objects, and it placed it where I wanted it. And I didn't even factor in that I was going to put a room under there at that time. So I left it because I put so much work into it. I left it. It works. Look, she can use this too. She can go downstairs. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're just going to let Clea relax a little bit in here, because after all, she was just telling a heartfelt speech to nobody. So she needs some R&R time to get over it. We're going to leave Clea alone now to relax, and we're going to head upstairs, because I forgot to show you the upper levels of the pyramid on the ground floor. So I showed you the main level, which had a little library and a throne room and the washrooms. And now up here, it's gated off because she can lock it. This is her living space. So she has a kitchen up here, which disappears, but if you go into it, it reappears. It's magical. It's just a basic kitchen, not much going on really. It's all she really needs. She lives alone. It had a cool window feature that you might have seen there. And then she has one washroom here, all stone, very Egyptian-like. Maybe, I don't know. It looks it to me. Anyway, she's got shoe storage, a cool wraparound shelf going on the wall, fancy-dancy, even a cat TV, because you know the Egyptians love their cats. So we've included a cat picture TV. I was very excited when I saw that in build mode, actually. I was like, how fitting. She has a little office here with a desk that shoves into the wall. Wonderful. We'll go up the staircase here, and we are in the master bedroom. So just a basic bedroom in here, nothing fancy-dancy. I guess it's kind of fancy-dancy. Other than we do have hidden behind these curtains is some secret gold storage that she has in there. Yeah. She also has a golden skylight, so that's cool. I've also turned one of the pools into a pond for all of the white birds that I could find in the game. And some dragonflies. And now we're going to take a look at the secret entrance that is in this gazebo area here, which is pretty cool. There's the hidden ladder, which is 4 stories tall. So you can go all the way down there. We'll have Clea take you down there and show you that she can get around and utilize all of the space. So here it all is. We're going to have her go all the way down there in just a minute after I show you this part for some random reason. Actually, scratch that. What we're going to do first is we're going to do a full overview of the floor plan, just because I was kind of taking you all over the place and maybe you didn't quite see it. So just quickly here, her bedroom up there came down to her living space with living room, office, bathroom, kitchen, and then the main entry stairs, which brought you down to the main level with the entrance and the courtyard entrance, and then the throne room, which you could go into the moon door room and also into the library through there as well, with the secret chamber behind there. And then in here is also the washroom. We've included 2 washrooms for that. And then down the first level here, we'll zoom in a bit closer. You come down the stairs here. So again, coming down the stairs from that secret entrance, there is a corridor back here into the underground grotto room is what we're calling it. even though it's not quite what a grotto is, but that's what we're calling it. And then around down to the next level here is where the chapel room is. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tomb rooms, basically is what we're going to call them. They all have jars in them of past loved ones because I don't have coffins. So they're all jars. And then the next floor down is the treasure floor. So all of her treasures, the ones that are super important, are locked up in the booby trap room. And from here, you can either take a giant jump or just use the stairs and go all the way around to the final level of the build, because you can't go more than 4. So the final level here is where her chamber is for her final resting place. As well, if you go down this hall, you can see through the glass. It's probably bulletproof glass. You can see through other chambers in here, and you're like, well, how do I get to them? Well, only the homeowner knows that you must go behind into the secret passageway where there's a fancy fountain and a secret other entrance back here, and then go all the way down the hall through the waterfall room. It's very Goonies, and then all the way around into each of the chambers here. Now, afterthought, I was like, I need another passageway from there back over to the other side. So in the end, I did add another passageway here because I did have to fix that door that the ladder goes down to. So you'll see that later on also. Before we do that, we have to take a look because Clea's talking to her neighbors, King Leopold and his wife from my last build. Isn't that fun? King Leopold's about to get really mad at her because she won't take his fancy present that he brought over on a dinner plate. And he's just going to storm off like, how dare you? I am king. And she's like, I don't care. I really have to pee, because that is her problem right now. You may have noticed that I have included the pee bush in the washroom. So there are 2 stalls in here, and there is a nice cleanly toilet and also a dirty bush that she can pee in. So don't be surprised when your sim prefers to pee in the bush over the fancy toilet. I also noticed after the fact that the sinks in the washroom are 2 different ones. I thought they were the same when building it, but one is gold faucet and the other is silver. So fix it if you wish, or leave it. Now we're done with all that distraction. We're going to get back to what I was trying to show you with Clea using the ladder and walking around the entire hidden tomb system, just to show you that she can, and it is all usable. She needs to get into the pool to get into the gazebo where the ladder is kept that takes you down to the very bottom level of the tomb. This is also where you're going to see the new tunnel system that I have included. So right here, the new passageway that I've added because I figured you do need a way to get out from the very end. So as you can see, she can use this door now. Before it wasn't usable with the angles of the wall, so I just had to adjust that area. But now she can go all the way back around here through the whole tomb system and then into the last chamber here. And then she can go into the secret passageway that's back here and get all the way back around to that ladder. Another thing that I've updated was I thought maybe you might want your Sims to swim with the wildlife. So I removed these 2 columns here so that she could access this pool and get into it. So you'll see that in just a moment here. So you can see I just shoved them over there for now so she can get into the pool. She can swim with the ducks and the swans. And she's like, I don't know if I should be doing this. Swans are crazy. And she doesn't get too close to them. Good idea. On her way out, she gets hit by a duck and she's like, I don't know why I thought this was a great idea. If you want your sim to have that experience, I've left the columns out. If you don't, you just have to put them back in. I did not leave them out and about like this. I did delete them. So just add them back if you want your sim not to swim with the wildlife. Anyway, we are at the end of the video. This will be available in the gallery to download under my gallery ID, which you can see all over the video because unfortunately my computer decides when it wants to show my record details and when it doesn't. I've tried to fix it, I can't.